Hey guys, Zorgo here with another YouTube video. Today we will talk about the tier list. This is basically an update version to the version I did already. If you didn't see it, you don't need to check it out honestly, because this is basically a newer version that will be more up to date. This time a bit bigger as well. I learned from the last time, and let's start immediately. First quest we have is Parasol. Parasol is an interesting quest. It's really good in Murloc lobbies, I would say. It's also good with Beast Barons, since it gives you white main protection. Also, it's counterable, because if your opponent plays a white main Baron, you can actually zap him to counter that. I did that a few times, kind of funny to do. But the main thing about Parasol is it's pretty easy to get Parasol. Like, the condition is quite easy, which makes the quest quite heavy on tempo, because you can finish it sometimes in one turn. I saw like play 3 Battlegrounds as a condition multiple times. And I got it offered a lot of times. Recently though, like the last few days, I saw Parasol so rarely. I feel like they might have nerfed the availability of this quest or something, because it doesn't get offered that often to me anymore. But from the experience I have, I would still put it in 80. I think it's pretty solid overall. Stolen Gold. Actually one that took a big hit, mainly because of white main. The card that basically taunts the opposite card to it. Because you can just put it on the last spot and you will always basically counterplay Baron. Which is kind of funny in a way, but also makes Stolen Gold a lot worse. So I would put it in B tier still, because it has some use with strengths. It can still, like if your opponent doesn't have white main, you can still beat him with Baron technically. But Stolen Gold got a lot worse because of that. Also the condition got harder as well at the same time, which overall hit the quest quite a bit. Next we have Secret Sinstone. This one is actually still S tier, I would say. Especially if Nagas are in, this quest is one of the best quests. It snowballed so hard. Even if Nagas are banned, whenever you can go for a 6-drop, you can hit 1 T-Master and basically win the game. You can hit 2 Fortress now. You can hit 2 Kellys even. 2 Artisas, 2 Orgos, 2 Elders, 2 Hogas sometimes. This quest can go crazy. Especially if your hero is a hero like Red King or something. You can even snowball it harder. And the requirement is usually not that hard. Like, it's still alright, I would say. Not the most difficult, not the easiest, but the really strong reward for it. One of the strongest quests in the game, usually when you get it offered, at least in my experience. Next we have Wisdom Ball, and Wisdom Ball is actually one quest that took a really big hit. Almost want to put it in D tier, honestly. I think I will just put it in D tier. Wisdom Ball is pickable in some situations, like when you get offered really bad quests. And Wisdom Ball is quite easy, like you get like the attack condition, the new one is especially really easy. By the way, if you want to check out the quest conditions and rewards, there will be a link in the description where you can just basically see all the pictures bigger and all the reward conditions that got added as well. We will not talk about it here. I just want to focus on the rewards for now, but there will be a link in the description. Hopefully I don't forget to put it in. But what I wanted to say about Ball, they nerfed the copy board one, I'm pretty sure, because I saw it less recently, and I talked with XT, another streamer, and great Battlegrounds player, YouTuber. If you don't know him, check him out. That also confirmed the same thing, that he said that Ball seems to appear less rare with copy board, and copy board was the best one. Like usually when I get Ball, recently especially, 9 out of 10 rolls are just useless. Next we talk about Tier Tiger Sapphire, another D tier quest. Not much to talk about, it's only good with Firebat. Other than that, not that good. Probably even worse than Ball, honestly. Oh, we have another D tier quest, Devil in the Detail. Really garbage quest, really hard requirement, and often doesn't help you even. Because let's say you freeze the shop and you have a triple in the shop, Devil in the Detail might eat it. And for the condition you get such a mediocre reward. Like you get stats worth of what? Like 4/4 a turn? Let's talk about Red Hand, for example. This card gives 12/12 a turn. and on magnetized cards, and concentrated, which has also more value and is easier or as hard to finish as Devil in the Detail, with the downside that you have to hold the card one turn. But if you pick Red Hand in the right circumstances, this quest is B to A tier, honestly, still. I would still put it in A tier, but you need some knowledge to play Red Hand correctly. Like, you need to know the spots where you pick it, and you need to know how to snowball it. But then Red Hand is pretty good. Probably even before Parasol. One big advantage in Murloc lobbies especially is that you can make a big selfless, which can actually be a big thing, because in a Murloc mirror match, which we have a lot at the moment because Murlocs are really busted, a big selfless can trade a poison Murloc or like a Manta Queen, and then you can basically win off the back of that. Alter Ego, another quest that is actually pretty decent at the moment. I would say a solid B tier quest. If you can get it really early, you can snowball with this as well, similar to Red Hand and Parasol. Like, this is a key for all those quests, actually. Like, if you can finish this quest on, like, that you have it ready on 8 gold or 7 gold, that you get the value, then those quests are really strong, because you can just buy some strong cards and then you just level, basically, and then you find direction cards. But if you have a really difficult condition that gives you access to Alter Ego, Red Hand, or Parasol too late, the quest loses a lot of value and potential. Next, we can talk about Mirror Shield. And Mirror Shield, after getting nerfed in Murloc lobbies, which was a really necessary change, actually got also Jam Splitter removed, which makes Mirror Shield a lot worse, actually. Like, I would put it probably even here. Like, I would pick it over Tear Tiger Zephyr and Devil in the Detail in most cases, but probably not over Ball even. Next, we can talk about Victim Specter. And Victim Specter is one quest that is really good whenever the condition is easy. Like, yesterday I had a Reno game where my condition was unspent gold twice. Like, I had to basically float 1 gold twice. And that was insanely easy. Like, I never saw such an easy Victim Specter. Then Victim Specter is even here, S tier. Because you snowball it, you can get T-Master or something, and then you just win the game. You can basically force triples. Other than that, I saw Victim Specter with really difficult conditions that are almost impossible to finish till like 9 gold, and then you have like sometimes tokens, and then you always get a microbot from this, and this quest is on C tier. So this quest is actually one that is really hard to evaluate. Like, it can go anywhere between C and S tier, depending on lobby circumstances and when you actually finish it. So I would put Victim Specter for now, actually even in B tier. Because I had more situations where Victim Specter was hard to achieve and gave me only bad cards because of that. Because the later you achieve Victim Specter, the harder it is to snowball from it, because you can't sell off cards, you can't keep duplicates for that long. You might have to play cards like that summon cards, and you are not strong enough to sell them because you lost too much HP already. And in these cases, it's really hard to make Victim Specter work sometimes. Especially if you have a 1-drop unit that is big. Let's say you have a Swamp Striker that you can't sell anymore. Let's say you have a Picky Eater that you needed to finish the quest and you made it golden. Then you will keep getting Picky Eater, and Picky Eater is a useless card in these cases. Like, that kind of situations happen as well. Like, where your opponent is stronger than you, and your strongest unit is not a good unit to copy because you have it already golden, but you needed that unit to basically complete the quest. Which makes Victim Specter really dependent on condition to be good or bad. Okay, next we can talk about Menagerie Mayhem, another S tier quest. Honestly, the Mayhem is most of the times, when it's pickable, actually C tier. I would still put it in C tier. It has niche use, but the niche use is more niche than having a specific 6-drop. When Mayhem is pickable, it's most likely in a mech beast lobby, because then you can make huge deflectors actually that are really a big deal. You can make cleaves and go from there. Basically, you can play anything. Sometimes it's a T-Master comes and your T-Master gets randomly big, and you have maybe cards like Selfless that you make big. Sometimes it's that you just play full glass cannon build. I would still say Mayhem, when it's playable, is pretty good. Like when you can achieve it fast. But If not, it's quite useless. The difference to Tier Tiger Zephyr is Tier Tiger Zephyr is only useful when you have really specific setup and hit the Firebat. Like, it's not even that good with Hoggar, it's not that good with Max. Not that good with Recycling Breath either. Like, the stats you get are usually not really worth it. If you have a normie comp, you don't need Tier Tiger Zephyr to make it work. But if you have Menagerie Mayhem, you just buff cards. Like, you just need a bunch of random tribes. Next, we talk about Snickersnacks, and Snickersnacks is actually S to A tier. It's quite close. Like, in Murloc lobbies, it's insane. Otherwise, it's okay. But I would put it in S tier just because of Murloc lobbies. Like, Murloc lobbies, this card is so crazy. You have one Toxfin, you can give your whole board Toxfin, and if you have a random Murloc, like a Cold Light Sea even, you can just buff them and basically just search already for your Selfless and stuff, especially when beasts are banned. And if you have a brand, you snowball hard. Like, even in non-Murloc lobbies, you can snowball with this card. If you have Alley Cats early game and you finish Snickersnacks, or if you play cards like Smogger or Strong Shell even. Next, we can talk about Evil Twin, and Evil Twin was S tier when Katka interaction got removed, in case you didn't know that. I saw that a few times that my opponents just played Katka Evil Twin in the first days. But luckily it got hot fixed, which puts Evil Twin back to A tier, I would say. It's pretty good sometimes. Like, it's always a solid quest. Especially with cards like Team Master, it has really strong synergy because you buff 3 cards anyway. So you have always a cycle spot that you basically can use for your Evil Twin copy. So ending on 6 units doesn't even feel bad. And it actually has natural synergy with the comp. Because instead of 3 units, you kind of buff 4. This quest is really good with Team Master. It's really good if you can build a big cleave in general, because then you get 2 cleaves. Like heroes like Vol'jin can abuse Evil Twin quite hard. Next we have Sinful Medallion, and Sinful Medallion is one of the new quests. And I would put it in... it's S tier on like 2 heroes. It can be S tier, I would say, like Gallywix and Villas. Other than that, it's probably in between B and A tier, I would say. It's probably worse than Victim Specter. I wouldn't pick it over Victim Specter. I would probably pick it over Alter Ego on some heroes. Like, Sinful Medallion is also really hero specific. Millhouse Gallywix can actually get Sinful Medallion, which gives the quest a lot of value on those heroes. I saw some heroes even roach on tier 3 or tier 2 or something and just play that and have success with it a bit. Heroes like Edwin can benefit from this quest a lot because you can cycle Jugs, you can to buff your Hydro, you can cycle a Elemental maybe to buff Puppet. So this quest, whenever you have a hero that basically benefits from cycling, can be even better than B tier. It really is so specific to a hero though. On average, you will probably not be happy when you see Sinful Medallion. Next we can talk about Ghastly-Mess, and Ghastly-Mess is a quest that actually gained a lot of value in non-Murloc lobbies because of the Walking Fortress, the new 6-drop Taunt card. There it's sometimes even S tier, like it's kind of game winning because you cheat so much stats in non-Murloc lobbies that you just snowball out of control. In general, it's one of my favorite quests at the moment. I would put it actually in S tier still. Like, I would put it either behind Snickersnacks or ahead of it, depending on lobby. Not ahead of Sinstone. Like, it's really lobby specific. This is better in Murloc lobbies. This is better in non-Murloc lobbies. I would put it like this because Ghastly-Mess is cooler, first of all, and more exciting. And Ghastly-Mess can be as well a young Merc guy, technically speaking, or even though it's harder to achieve. Also, I think they're even, but I just have bias to Ghastly-Mess. That's it, honestly. Next we have Ritual Dagger, and Ritual Dagger is one quest that actually lost a lot of value for me, personally. Like, it got harder to achieve, and I feel like that's slowed it down a bit too much. I feel like it's so mediocre currently. I would put it in B tier at the end of, at the bottom of it. Next we have Pilfer Lamps, a quest that is really insanely garbage actually. C tier. Not much to talk about, really difficult to achieve, that's what makes this quest bad. If you finish this quest, sometimes it's not even good. Like, I had Pilfered Lamp games where I finished it really early, like 8 gold or 9 gold. Then I had like 3 turns in a row where I roll and hit nothing and then I die. Happened more than once. That leaves a bitter taste to me, this quest. But quite fun. I can understand if you have bias to this quest as well. Next we talk about Staff of Origination. One of the worst quests in the game probably. Even here, because it's insanely difficult and the spike isn't even that good for what you get. Like, let's talk about Staff of Origination in this way. It's really good if you have, like, let's say you have a Mama Bear comp, then a Staff of Origination can be really insane because you get like plus 12 stats on your big cards and then you get a lot stronger. But let's compare this, for example, to a Red Hand. Let's say you get Red Hand on 7 gold, which is pretty good if you can manage that. And then you hold a card for 1 turn. On 8 gold, you play another card that you buffed. And then you start stabilizing, and then you hold the card for 2 turns. Like, this card basically outstats this card and is relevant more early and concentrates stats, while this card is not even permanent and has kept scaling, and you will hit it like turn 11, 12, 13, usually, like with the conditions you get offered. Like, the Red Hand is just so much better. It saves you early game, it lets you focus buffs, and you know you will survive till then, till you get the value online. This quest has synergy with Terragoda though, but we will talk about that in a second. When we talk about ethereal evidence, this quest becomes a bit relevant again. Like that, it's in the pool in general. Tiny Henchmen, actually one quest that got a buff. It's easier to achieve now, and now I would say it's actually good enough to be even here. Like, it's better than Stolen Gold even, in most cases. Oh, wait. I messed up the order. This is in order, by the way. What the power level is. It's close between actually, it's even better than that, actually. Actually, Tiny Henchman is better than Sinful Medallion, probably. Maybe even Victim Specter. It's actually not that bad. Yeah, let me put that in front. Because Tiny Henchman, I had some games where it was really easy to complete, and then I could just level with the tempo from it, because you basically have a slightly stronger Light Fang that is concentrated on 3 cards. Like, if you can finish it like on 6 gold and you can level with it, it's pretty strong, or like 7 gold, and I did that a few times. Weird to put it before Victim Specter though. Close. Can't put it before Victim Specter. I had some decent games, but I also know the useless games this a quest gave me sometimes. Same with Victim Specter though. Nah, Tiny Henchman is a bit better. I made up my mind. Let's hope I don't change it again. But that's something that tells you how close it is with some of those quests. Next we can talk about Smoking Gun, and Smoking Gun actually is a quest that also took a really big hit. It's a quest that I almost never pick anymore. I would put it even here. Because the quest difficulty doesn't make up for it anymore. Like, Alter Ego comes online earlier than this quest, and basically gives you immediate stats. I value that way more. That's a trend that you can notice on a lot of heroes and quest rewards. Like, the earlier a quest can come online, or the more impactful it is when it comes online, the more value it has. Smoking Gun just doesn't live up to the value on average, I would say. If you get the Smoking Gun condition that tells you summon X amount of cards, or have play elementals, or not elementals, play max or beast to finish the quest. Basically, quests that basically lead you to a route where you can build a Smoking Gun board that is strong. This quest gains value. If you can proc it in combat, that also gives that value, because you can use it in combat to finish it, and then you basically also get the value on the same fight. So this quest can still be really good, like your best choice. That's the case for most of those quests that are in this tier list, so that's something you should always keep in mind. But currently it's like B tier on average. I don't remember the last time I picked Smoking Gun, honestly. Like, the reward difficulty just killed it for me. What I remember is though the friends along the way. This quest can be really insane or sometimes just okay. Like, it really depends on the tribes that you get. If you get the tribe like beasts, it loses a lot of value. If you get a tribe like pirates or murlocs, it gains so much value. I would put it on A tier for now, behind Evil Twin. Another in body, another really insane quest that can be bad, but most of the time it isn't. Like, I would even put it another hidden body on average here. It's like S to... It's kind of S tier, honestly. It's A to S. Like, I got like play 3 Battlecries condition, play 4 Battlecry condition, elemental condition, pirate condition, murloc condition. If you get any of those play quests as another hidden body condition, it's really strong. If you get summon quest, it depends what your hero and setup is. If you get spent gold, it's insanely bad. If you get add cards, it's usually really bad too. Like, you usually have to add like 16 cards to get 1 card, which is obviously really hard to do, unless you have an Orgozo or Naga board or something. So it really depends what your condition is. I guess that makes it kind of A tier still, not S tier. Like, it's not that consistent, but it's really good when you get the right conditions. Like, especially play Battlecries and the elemental or murloc or pirate cycling is really strong. Next, we can talk about Yo-tastic, one of my favorites, honestly. It's one of the most fun quests for me at the moment. Like, if someone asked me, I would say Yo-tastic is probably the most fun I have. Unfortunately, it's not the best quest in the game for the requirements that it gives you and the randomness. Like, sometimes you don't get any value. But it's really fun to... Like, this quest gains a lot of value in Murloc lobbies. Like, you should try to pick this, especially in Murloc lobbies, when you don't have way better quests, because this quest can give you an edge in Murloc Mirrors in the end game. You basically can gain Divine Shield thanks to prizes. You can get a new hero power that basically could give you maybe a George in the late game or Alakir or whatever. This can give you stats on your Selfless, make your units golden, shuffle stats around, eat chops, which all basically buff cards like Leroy, Mantic, Queen, and Selfless that give you an edge in the mirror. Way better in Murloc lobbies. Okay-ish in non-Murloc lobbies still. Can be fun. Can be decent too. But Murloc lobbies especially, because Murloc lobbies you also spike on tier 4. Next we talk about Cookbook. Cookbook, also a really good quest. Mech Pirate Elemental lobby is really, really strong. Even better than Ghastly Master and Snicker Snakes, I would say. Sometimes really hard to do that's what makes the quest a bit worse nowadays. Actually 80, I would say. Because Cookbook got so much harder. Like, it's rare for you to get the condition that lets you finish Cookbook fast. That's never the case with Snicker Snakes. I would put it in 8 tier for that reason. Oh. Kidnap Sack. This is a new quest. Choose a non-goal minion, add it to your hand, and it's insanely easy to finish usually, which gives it so much value. Because the easier quest and the more impact it has, once you finish it, the better. And this card basically reads gain gold and power level after playing like 3 Battlecries. Like, I got that quest condition multiple times. Play 3 Battlecries or play 3 Elementals, something like that. And then you can just arco level afterwards. So it's even worth it to sometimes just buy a card, sell it, just to finish it on the same turn. Then you can basically kidnap sack. You can kidnap sack cards and shop, in case you didn't know that. Then you can just kidnap sack cards and shop, level, and then you can bounce cards. Like, for example, you can bounce an Uta. You can have board space in general that you are never board locked in the later stages of the game. You can swap cards like a Toxfin, a Lookout, a Battlecry in general if you have brand synergy. Like, this card can snowball hard, and it's good in general. That makes the card so good. Like, you are never board locked, and you basically always can utilize it to just buy cards for cheap. Next, we can talk about Ethereal Evidence. And this quest is actually pretty good, I would say, but it's usually hard to complete, which puts it probably here in A tier. It's a random quest reward, but not every quest is eligible. For example, you can't hit a ghastly mess, but you can hit a secret sandstone, you can hit a kidnap sack, and some of those go crazy with evidence. For example, if you evidence a kidnap sack, you can use it twice because you get the spellcraft at the start of the turn before you pick again. So some of those have double value, while others are situationally good, and some are just straight up useless. Like Tiny Henchman in the later stages is really bad with ethereal evidence, for example. Smoking Gun or Medallion can also be really bad in later stages. Red Hand can be really bad, can be good too. Like sometimes it just depends on timing. Ritual Dagger is one that can be really bad. Hidden Body you can't hit. Cookbook you can't hit. Ghastly Mess you can't hit, for example. Snicker Snacks can be really useless. Mirror Shield is one that can be really insane because you can hit Mirror Shield in Murloc lobbies, which you normally can't do. Devil in the Detail is a useless one. Mayhem is usually useless too. Staff can be really insane. So it really depends what you hit. Hit or miss quest. Volatile Venom, another Roach quest. It's basically Smoking Gun, but a bit better, I would say, because you get +7+. It says +8/8, but it's actually +7/7. I would put it in B tier after the nerf. It can be really good in mech beast lobbies though, especially if you have this setup with gas coiler. It can be really annoying to fight that. But I personally actually always got griefed. Whenever I picked this quest, my opponent had a better setup than me. And whenever I picked this quest, I never rolled any death results. So I have a bit of a bias against this Venom quest. But other players report a lot of success. If you have success with this quest, go ahead and pick it and flame me in comments. Next, Blood Goblet. Blood Goblet is one that is actually not that bad, I think, sometimes. Like in certain lobbies with Mexen, it can be really decent. But it's probably somewhere here. Like it's niche use that is sometimes okay-ish. Next, we have the Essence of Zeros. It's a random quest. It gives you +1 gold. It's quite easy to achieve usually. But recently, I didn't get it that often offered to me, and my last experiences weren't that great. If you get a 6-drop from this, you probably win the lobby though. Like in the early stages. Like if you can finish this on 6, 7, 8, get a 6-drop, get a Fortress, you will probably win. Or Snowball Heart at least. Like at least top 2. The randomness of this kinda puts it here though. Like it can also be really bad. Like sometimes you stay down to finish this quest and then you get nothing. That can also happen. Treasure Vault, the next one. Another clean. Probably in between here. It really depends. Sometimes this is really easy. Sometimes this is really hard. I saw conditions where you finish this in 1 to 2 turns. I saw conditions where you finish this in 3 to 4 turns. 3 to 4 turns is a bit slow because then the 1 gold is hard to snowball. If you can finish this on 6, 7, 8, pretty good. Because then you can basically manipulate your leveling curve in a good way. Where you buy a 3-drop and you level to tier 4. Then you on tier 4 you buy a 4-drop and level. Then on tier 5, you can maybe roll once on tier 6 and then buy a card. Like basically you can have such a strong curve thanks to Treasure Vault sometimes. Where you don't even lose in tempo while abusing the levels. But whenever you can't do that, this quest is bad. Like if you have to stay down to finish it, it can be a lot worse because it's harder to snowball that. Next we talk about Stolen is a Golden Hammer, the, in my opinion, best quest in the game currently. It's insanely broken in any form or way. You can use this to make Selfless in the late game. You can use this to make a Hogar and only have 2 Hogars to be infinite. You can use this to make an Orgozoa golden every turn, which is really broken interaction. Like if you triple into an Orgozoa with Golden Hammer, you make it golden, you get basically immediately the golden spellcraft discover, and then you can use that as well, and basically you have one normal Orgozoa is basically better than a golden version of it. It's crazy how good it is. And you have an easy time to find cards like Artiza or Wrangler to scale then. You can also use this on glow scale. In some situations I do that as well, like where you make glow scale just golden just to get an extra divine shield. when you don't have a selfless or don't want to play it for whatever reason. This quest is also quite easy to do for the condition. You have a really common condition I see on this quest, which makes it so powerful, is 18 attacks. 18 friendly attacks and you get golden hammer. That's something I see a lot, or 16 attacks or 20 depending on your armor tier. Sometimes it's also like something like play 8 elementals max or whatever. Then it's also quite doable because this is a quest you don't need immediately. That's what makes this quest so good. Like once you get it, it has insane impact, and it's a quest you don't need to finish immediately because you need to find the cards anyways. Like you need to level to find Zorgo, Nomi, or any other card that scales to utilize Golden Hammer correctly. Sometimes you can hit nasty combos with Golden Hammer and Ghastly Mask, for example, as well, where you get that offered on Sire. It's pretty broken, that combo, if you get it. Like to make a card golden and then basically level with it at end of turn effects twice. You can imagine how hard you snowball. You can also get Golden Hammer thanks to Scout with an easier time, where you sometimes stay down and then get a 6-drop. Let's say a T-Master, that happened a few times to me as well, where Golden Hammer is my quest condition and I found a Scout on 5 gold. And then you can just stay down to finish your quest, and then you have a 6-drop that you have golden, and then you just win the game on tier 3 or 4. Like, this quest is crazy good. They should nerf this for sure. Make it a bit harder to complete because of the power it has. You can also make a golden Nomi, then switch to a golden recycling grass later on to find more pairs or triples. You can make a golden ball and sell it as well. Like, this card is just so good as this quest. And last but not least, we talk about Partner in Crime. I just uploaded a video about it as well. I got this quest twice offered to me so far. And I have to say, Partner in Crime, really cool idea as usual. I gave it S tier last time, but realistic power level, I would put it probably here. The thing with Partner in Crime is, it's quite conditional. Like, you need the right hero to get it, and you need others to not high roll you. Like, it's a quest that warps the whole lobby around itself. So, the perfect place would be B tier, I think. Let me reorder a bit. Since there's a lot of, actually, too many A and B tiers. Like, more quests means we have to downgrade some of those. Smoking Gun and Alter Ego Pro and Blood Goblet should probably be here. Yeah, this seems more accurate. Maybe even Sinful here. Nah, this looks good. I think I would keep it like this. Those are the S tier quests, like the best ones. Sneaker Snack, Ghastly Mask, and Secret and Kidnap Stack. If you would say an S plus list, then those 3 would be on top. Other than that, quite satisfied with this list. Hope you enjoyed this tier list video and the update of it. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share your thoughts of it in the comments, and see you guys next time around. Take care.